So the Carolina Panthers get the win yesterday, beating the Seattle Seahawks on the road. They're 4-4 now under interim head coach Steve Wilks. They've won 3 out of the last 4, and because the rest of the NFC is bad, with the exception of the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'll give the Niners their due as well because Kyle Shanahan seems to just have the magic touch, right? The NFC South is there for them to have. Bucs lost yesterday. They're a game out now, the NFC South. They do still play the Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints to close out the season with the 4 games remaining. Wilks seems to have something going right now. The team seems to have responded to him. Here's Wilks after the game talking to the press about the thrilling and emotional win against the Seahawks.
Everything that, we've gone through, they've gone through with the different, coaching changes, getting rid of players, or the organization trying to tank it, all those different things. And to see how those guys respond and came out and played today, it is pretty thrilling and emotional, yes.
So that's Steve Wilks after the win. And there was some confusion on social media yesterday as to what exactly Wilks was getting at. I think he was misquoted out of context. That some people seem to have taken that comment as though he was saying the Panthers were trying to tank, the organization was trying to tank, but they are not. The team isn't, like stuff that you and I talk about.
Yeah.
Owners might want to tank, fans might want to tank, but the coaches and the players don't. No, he was simply throwing out the rhetorical of, hey, man, we traded away Christian McCaffrey. We made some other moves, and people thought we were trying to tank. Yet here we are, resilient, still winning. And because of that, because of the difficulty setting that has been ratcheted up for Steve Wilks, and David Tepper, the owner, saying during the Matt Rule firing press conference that he would have to do an exceptional job, I don't know what else you would want Steve Wilks to do to prove that he has done an exceptional job. I don't think at this point it's an either-or proposition. Like, he has to make the playoffs in order for David Tepper to truly give him some sort of benefit of the doubt. No, I think he's actually done enough given the circumstances that he just laid out. The question is, will David Tepper actually do it, though? There's a, should you do it? Will he do it? I think you and I can both agree that Steve Wilks has done an exceptional job. Steve Wilks, I think, has earned at least the conversation to be the head coach of the Carolina Panthers going forward.
I also probably need to understand, I get there's only 32 NFL head coaching jobs, so they're all really good, but no up-and-comer is going to sign up to be the next Panthers coach.
Sometimes you want to give the job, or you should give the job, I should say, to the person who clearly wants it. Somebody
there is something to that, yes.
Who gets it,
yes.
All right? And sometimes I feel like owners aren't interested in the guy who actually wants what you want, that they get caught up in the next up-and-coming coach, the young guy that's really going to make a splashy hire to show to other owners, I'm on some level you don't get yet, man.
But, Joe, he beat a bunch of bad teams at Baylor.
It's not even that. It's like, did he have a cup of coffee with Sean McVay?
Right.
Well, then I'm going to give him this job. Or he's some sort of QB whisperer for a free agent you want. That's how Nathaniel Hackett got the job for the Denver Broncos. How's that working out? Let's give a little credit to somebody who actually wants the job, somebody who's had time with the Carolina Panthers organization, somebody who gets what it is to be a Panther and they keep pounding and connects with fans and clearly connects with these players. That should matter, right? And when you got your young core guys like Brian Burns who want to win, that should mean something as well. Here's Brian Burns talking to Vashti Hurt, Carolina Blitz, about what they got left on the table and what they want to go do.
We got 4 more games that we need to win, you know what I mean, to do this, to complete this. It's going to be a great story.
What's the story going to be? What's the story going to be?
Only time will tell. But I know the plan.
So there you go. There's Brian Burns. And then here's Sam Darnold, who was the starting quarterback after the Panthers released Baker Mayfield, who ended up on the Rams, putting the win in perspective over the Seahawks.
It's not surprising to any of us in the locker room. It might be surprising to people outside the locker room or outside people that are in our organization. But it's not surprising to us the way we prepare, the way that, we're confident in ourselves, and the way that, like I said, that we prepare and in the way that we play. We've been playing really well the last few weeks. We just, some games we just haven't really been able to put it together in these last 2 weeks. We've been able to do that. And, it's been fun to be able to, help these guys in the process of doing that. But, anytime we're able to run the ball the way we have been and our defense playing the way that they are, and obviously, like I said, our special teams doing their deal, so it makes it fun to play quarterback.
So that's Sam Darnold, quarterback for the Carolina Panthers after the win over the Seahawks. So, Giglio, the question is, will David Tepper actually do the smart thing here and give the job to a guy who clearly wants the job? Steve Wilks' head coaching experience was 2018, one season with the Arizona Cardinals. They went 3-13. That was the league worst record of that season. But there's always context with this stuff. How often do you see a guy get fired after one season, after a bad season?
Other than the Browns, it doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't happen very, very often. And there's the context of, well, who was your quarterback that year? They drafted Josh Rosen. How'd things work out with Josh Rosen?
I believe he made it through 4 different teams before he was out of the league.
I think so. We got to talk to Mike Glennon about that year.
Yeah, he was on that team.
Mike Glennon he had a 2-year contract with the Arizona Cardinals. He was backing up Josh Rosen. I think he saw 2 games in relief of Josh Rosen that season before being released by the Cardinals later that year. So if you want to use the head coaching record for Steve Wilks against him, you might as well look at the context while you're going through that as well. And every situation is built a little bit differently. Bill Belichick, for instance,
I
right?
was just about to say, I could tell you somebody who didn't have a winning record at his first stop and somehow turned it out to be the greatest coach in the history of the league.
Sometimes the organization is the reason why you don't win, not the coach, right? Look at Detroit.
I would also argue the quarterback matters.
Quarterback also matters as well, which is another matter for the Carolina Panthers going forward.
Well, as we see with our guy Belichick, too. I mean, he does not have a winning record without a certain Tommy.
Yes. Although I did see the joke tweet yesterday going, man, Tom Brady's probably wondering, wait a minute, I'm usually with a team that can make mincemeat out of a rookie quarterback.
Yes.
It's like you're telling me that Bill Belichick wouldn't have had something cooked up for Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy yesterday, and instead I got to sign autographs for guys who are intercepting my balls out here? What in the world is happening? Maybe there's a reunion for Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
That's been the big rumor, right?
I know, it has been a rumor. Well, yesterday was a big rumor for for San Francisco because, Brady kept talking about being back home and Kyle Shanahan doesn't have a quarterback next season. How much longer they can have Jimmy Garoppolo? What's the Trey Lance situation going to be like? Are they really going to go with Brock Purdy going forward? Well, based on how he looked last night, they benched Brock Purdy not because he was bad.
No, they had to preserve him.
They preserved Brock Purdy. That's how bad things got for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.